What's good, y'all? It's your boy Never Ready. I'm coming at you with a brand new original series. I'm bringing you your favorite YouTubers and streamers like you've never seen them before. Oh yeah, straight up behind the scenes. This is 2K Tapes, episode 1. Now let's get it. What's good, y'all? Welcome to episode 1 of 2K Tapes. I'm bringing you a different side of your favorite YouTubers and streamers. I'm your host, Never Ready 2K. I'm here with a very special guest, almost 700,000 subs on YouTube, one of the most genuine, down-to-earth people you'll meet in the 2K community, a friend of mine, Joe Knows. Joe, how you doing today?
What's going on, man?
Just chilling, brother. I just want to say it's an honor to have you in for the interview. With that being said, let's dive right into it. Let's talk a little bit about your start on YouTube. When and why did you first start creating content? And did you always make content with the intentions that this will one day be your career?
When did I start? I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago now. Just I kind of just randomly decided to do it. I was just like, I like gaming. I like 2K. Might as well, obviously there was a market already for it, but I feel like it was just taking off. So kind of just saw an opportunity and said, might as well give it a shot. Like the worst thing that could happen is it doesn't work out, and I don't lose anything. And of course, I always had the dream for it to one day like to make income from it, but when you're first starting out, it seems like so far away that if that's like the only reason you're doing it, then it usually doesn't end up working out. So, obviously it was a goal, but you never know what could happen.
Yeah, I feel it, man. Well, that's good insight for the people right there, man. How many subs did you have when you realized, oh shit, this might actually be a career for me?
I feel like I'm more conservative than some people. You know what I mean? Like I see people like they'll hit like 10K subs and they'll be like, all right, I'm dropping out of everything. I'm quitting my job. I'm grinding YouTube. Like for me, I never like I was always like working on the side and doing other things while I was doing YouTube. Like I didn't want it to be like I didn't want it to be all the pressure of like if you fail or like your channel doesn't do well, then it's like you have nothing else to turn to and you're just gonna be like kind of dead in the water. So I always try to keep doing other things. I would say when I finally decided like okay, my main line of work is my channel. I don't even remember. It was well over 100,000. I would say 200,000 or 300,000, and my views were pretty high, and I was making comfortable money. That I was like, okay, this is like my main focus now. Other like I could do other things, but this is like the priority in terms of work.
Right, right. Man, that's awesome. And while you were coming up, what kept you motivated? Because, like, obviously I don't know how big the gap was exactly, but, you had a grind to get to that 100,000. In the meantime,
Oh, for sure.
what did you use, or what did you, I guess, yeah, use as fuel to keep you going?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like I'm just like when I want something, I'm a very self-motivated person. Like I don't need anyone like holding my hand or like along the way. I don't need I just from within I just want to do it, so I do it. But there was times like obviously that things weren't going how I wanted, and you think about like giving up, and I don't know, I just kept going and stuck with the process, and I'm really happy that I did. I'll say that.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I mean, the trials and tribulations definitely made you a better person, and look where you are today. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. A lot of people don't know that Joe Knows was once upon a time Dat Boy. Can you talk a little bit about Dat Boy and Joe Knows, and what was the reason for the change in name?
When I first started, like, you're a channel with barely any subscribers, not getting a lot of views. Like, I didn't really think about like the brand of it all. I didn't think about like what's my name gonna be. Like, oh, I gotta build this name. Like, I was just like, it doesn't even matter. It's me. I'm just gonna like post my videos and go about what I'm doing. But then when I got to the point that I was like, man, this is like my business. You know what I mean? Like, this is my brand. If I'm gonna build it into something bigger, I'd rather have it be something more like personable, something that has me in the brand, not just kind of like a random name. Like and you see it a lot. Like at first it was just a gamer tag, and then it became, oh, this is my YouTube channel. And it's just two completely different things, which is why I just decided, you know what, when I was nervous about making the change too. I didn't know if it would affect like, you know, people finding my channel and,
Right.
which ultimately affects your money and all that. So I was nervous, but talking to some people, there's a lot of big YouTubers that have changed they just completely rebranded their name once they got bigger. And I reached out to them and they kind of just said like, at first it's going to seem a little weird. People might say stuff, but in terms of affecting your actual channel and your views and stuff, it won't really have an impact. So I took their word for it and I went and did it, and it was probably one of the best decisions I've made because I like my name now. I like my, the name of my brand, and everything worked out.
Absolutely. Joe Knows does have a nice ring to it. I can't lie. So tell me a little bit about post score Joe. Now you weren't always, well, technically you were ISOing, but I'll say in more recent years you became one of the best ISO players in the community. But back in the day, it wasn't always the case. You were a post scorer. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, when I first started in 2K17, I didn't start right away, which I always kind of regret because like obviously the start of a 2K is when it's like everything's being searched, the most popular, all that stuff. So I started a couple months. I forget exactly when. I think it was a month or two after the game came out. And yeah, I was just like, I didn't really look up build videos or anything like that. I just was like, I want to be a center that can score, like, like on my own. Like if we need a bucket, I can get it, and then I can still play the role of like set the screens, get the rebounds, protect the paint. And I was looking at the builds back then, and I made a post score, and then I started posting post score videos, and like there was nothing about post scores at the start of the first couple months of 2K17. I think by the end of the year, a lot like there was a good amount of people that started using them because they started to realize that they were actually good. But I remember at first, getting a few comments on my, my videos aren't getting a lot of views, but I was getting comments like, that build sucks. Why didn't you make a glass cleaner? Glass cleaner is way better. And then by the end of the year, there were so many people like using a post score on the twos because it's like, it was a really good, like underrated build. And it just kind of like, I always think back to that. If I just went with what everyone said, like I would have been just another glass clean, just another center that year. But instead, I got like a decent little start on YouTube because if you wanted to look up post scoring builds or post scoring videos, there was only like 2 or 3 people doing it. So it was a
Mm,
good way to kind of start to kind of gain a following. But it was such like a niche market, not market, but you know what I mean, like a niche kind of search on
right.
YouTube
Yeah.
that eventually I was like, I gotta start to expand. I can't just if I just stick with a post score, I'm never gonna get like as big as I want to get. So
I
that's
hear
why I
you.
started to make other builds.
That leads me to my next question, Joe. Or statement, I guess. You're known for going against the grains with builds. Just like you said, you used to be a post scorer when that wasn't the meta. Going back to 2K19, you were a stretch big before everyone found out that that was overpowered. And this year with 2K20, you were pretty much popularized the LeBron James build, and you made it to where it's actually a hard build to use. It's not an easy build, but if people watch you play, they assume it's an easy build to use. Talk to me a little bit about that, and do you purposely go against the grain, or is it just something that kind of happens?
I don't know if I purposely do it, but I just feel like if you're doing, I don't know, you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're just gonna blend in. I mean, some people, I guess, the people that their goal is to be the best, absolute best 2K player possible, then I guess I understand. Like, you're gonna go with the easiest, most effective, efficient way to win and be good, I guess, if that makes sense. But I don't know. For me, that's not like a goal. Like, I don't really. Obviously, I want to win when I play. I'm a competitive person. I played sports and whatnot. But my goal is to entertain first and like be good second, if that makes sense when it comes to 2K. So
Right.
I don't know. If you just make a play shot, like you're just one of 500,000 play shots that are out there. Even if you're really good, you're still just another play shot, if that makes like there's so many people with that build, or like last year, two-way slashing playmaker. You're just another one of those. So
Right. Right. Right.
having a unique build with a unique build name, I feel like in terms of YouTube, it's a really good way to stand out. But then also, your play style is unique because not a lot of people have the build that you're using. So it's just on all on all levels. It's just different and it stands out. And then you're also, if you're beating those people that are using those builds that are quote unquote, the meta builds, easier to use builds, then, that's like icing on the cake.
Right, and the results speak for themselves. I mean, every year, 90 win percentage. You're always playing comp. You play in the stage. This year specifically, you took on the comp ProAm team with some of your buddies. But yeah, man, the results speak for themselves, and definitely not an easy build to use. I've dabbled around with that build, and let's just say it's not for everybody. So for y'all watching, I wouldn't, you got to have a certain level of skill to be doing what this man's doing, all right? Fast forward to 2K20. What did it mean for you when you finally got your 2K logo? Because some would say you've been snubbed in the past, in 2K19 specifically. A lot of people, as fans, thought you were going to get one or thought you deserved one. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, like you see the videos, people getting it and they're like crying on stream and they're dancing on stream. For me, it wasn't like that. Like, obviously, it was just nice to be recognized by 2K, to know like they know who I am, they've seen my channel, they respect my content and stuff like that, and it's a potential like down the road to work with them. But for me, it was just a nice gesture, but it wasn't. If I'm being honest, it wasn't something that like I was like celebrating going out to dinner. Like, it wasn't like,
Right.
to me, it wasn't a huge deal. Like, it didn't change much, but I just thought, okay, that's I respect them for that. That's nice of them for doing that, and who knows, down the road maybe we can end up working together on some type of project to make 2K as good as possible. So
yeah, that'd be nice, man. I think that's something that 2K should take more into consideration, bringing on not only league players to make decisions for future games, but also YouTubers, park players, pro-am players.
what they need to realize is majority of the people who play 2K, even if you're a really good park player, essentially you're playing the game for enjoyment. Like, the only they're bringing in 2K League players where they're not on the game to just enjoy themselves and mess around. They're playing in a professional E-League. Their number one goal is to win.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, I don't even want to say majority, but a lot of park players, good park players, they're competitive. They want to win as well. But you're playing park. Like, it's RNG. Yeah. Like, a lot of luck can happen. It's not the most skilled mode in the game. They should be taking into consideration the feedback of the people that are playing, like you said, on a more casual level, not only the players that look at it as, this is my professional job, I have to win every single game that I play, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect transition, because I wanted to get your perspective on Pro-Am versus Park. What do you believe the biggest differences are, and which one do you enjoy playing more?
The biggest differences, Pro-Am, like actual competitive Pro-Am, takes much more skill and much more IQ. There's way less space on the court. There's so many more reads you have to make, because there can be help defenders coming from all different angles and sides and different rotations teams can make. So definitely more skill and IQ in Pro-Am. Park is just more, I'd say it's more fun. It's just, like I said, I'm a competitive person, so obviously even when I'm playing Park, I want to win. But there's just so much more space on the court, which allows you to be more creative, just more highlight plays and just things like that. So I would say Park is definitely more for the casual player, even though, there's tournaments and wagers that we've seen all throughout the year that make it a little more competitive, but there's still so many, like, lucky bounces, lucky RNG, just luck-based things in Park that make it just kind of more unpredictable, I guess is the right word.
Yeah, there's a lot more glitchy animations, such as, park dunks, park alley-oops, even park handles. Sometimes they could activate and they could hurt you or they could save you, You could accidentally do a park handle and cook somebody up when you didn't mean to do it. Or you can accidentally do a park handle when you weren't trying to do that, and it can cause a turnover or a bump steal or something like that. So, like you said, a lot of RNG, and it can go either way. As primarily a Pro-Am player, I 1000% agree with everything you just said. I do believe Pro-Am takes more skill, especially like for Pro-Am, I'm more of a spot up shooter, I would say. You know, I can handle the rock a little bit, but in the park, it's just so easy to handle the rock because, you know, you can, especially for ISO, and you got one player in each corner, it's an easy pass to make if you get, you know, if you draw the help defender. And in Pro-Am, you got 4 people around you, and they know how to bait. They know how to, you know, they're in the lane. So even if it looks like the guy's open, chances are if they have Hall of Fame interceptor, they're going to at least get a tip or possibly even get the full steal. So, yeah, absolutely. I know my Pro-Am players feel that one for sure. Now, Joe, you're really consistent with your uploads. We all know, you know, your work ethic as subscribers, as your fans. How many builds did you make and delete this year in 2K20? We know that 10's the max, but some of us want to know, how many did you actually make?
Honestly, I didn't count. I would say easily, definitely over 20. I would say high 20s, low 30s probably.
Man, that's
like there was builds that I made, grinded for a few days, and was like, nah, I don't like this, and just deleted it, and then made a different build. I made 3 offensive threats and didn't get any of them to over 90 overall. I like made it, played a few days, deleted it, then remade it, deleted it, remade it, deleted it. Like I made a lot of builds, wasted a lot of VC. I'll say that.
I feel it, but at the end of the day, you know, this is your job, this is your profession, and we as fans, we appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're keeping it fresh, you're bringing this new builds.
It's all it's all for content.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to your work ethic and your consistency, as someone who makes videos myself, I'm wondering, you know, with the amount of volume of content that you're putting out, do you edit all of your videos or do you hire people to work for you? Talk to me a little bit about that.
I don't know how many videos I've uploaded, but let's say I've uploaded 1,000 videos. I have edited every video except maybe 5.
Wow, dude, that is incredible. That's incredible, man. That is so much work and time. I mean, that's
And anytime I let somebody, if it's a mixtape or something like that, they usually do worse than when I edit the video. I just feel like when you're recording, or at least when I'm recording, I have a vision for the video already in mind. So I record it specifically for that. And then when I'm editing, I already know kind of how I want the video to flow and what points I want to make at certain times of the video. So it's like, then everything goes in sync. But if I just have somebody else do it, I feel like it's just kind of random and scattered. And for whatever reason, the video usually doesn't do as well.
See, and that's a beautiful behind the scenes question and answer. Okay, so personal questions, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, when did your love for gaming begin? What console was it? What video game was it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Tough to pinpoint. I mean, I've been playing all the way back to like Legend of Zelda, Super Mario. Like I've just always enjoyed playing video games. I don't know, like when I would say like, oh, my love for gaming started. I've always played, just, you know, growing up with, you know, my family, we would play, my friends, we would play, and then as I got older, people were always like, oh, once you're done with high school, you're gonna be too busy, college, you have a job, you're not gonna want to play anymore. But it's always just like, if I had the choice between like going out or just staying home and chilling playing video games, to me, like, I would prefer to just stay home and play video games. It was more fun than like going to a club or any of that type of, any of that bullshit. To me, it was just more fun to just be with people that I enjoy playing with, like in the party, and just having a good time playing. That was always like, it was a good way for me to unwind. I mean, everyone's different, but that was just, for me, that was the way I like to just chill out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, was Joe Knows ever in a clan?
I mean, I guess technically, but it was for such a short amount of time. Like, to me, it doesn't even, like, I would say no, but I guess technically, yeah.
Okay. And would you ever consider joining a clan in the future? My fault, bro.
Not like a...
My fault.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Not like a 2K clan.
Okay. So, okay. So you would possibly consider something like AMP or Too Hype, something like that?
Yeah, something that's like business related, content related. Yeah, I could see
Oh,
the point of that. But a 2K clan, to me, at this point, does nothing for me. So
I hear you. Speaking of AMP, I hear AMP Davis has been ducking your IRL 1v1s. You got something to say about that? Anything you want to address?
Davis likes to troll, but he knows the business. We're gonna play though, for sure. When I go down there, we're gonna play.
That's what's up.
You guys
All
will
right,
see.
Davis, you heard it here first on 2K tapes. So, Joe, a lot of people don't know. Some people do. Um, they don't know that you were a professional athlete. Which sport was it? What age did you begin playing that sport? And was it always your dream to be a pro?
So I was a professional footballer or soccer player, as you call it in America.
Okay.
Basically, I played my whole life. Soccer and basketball, I played my entire life. When I got to college, I made the decision to just do soccer. While I was playing, like I would still go play basketball, open gym and stuff like that. And the coach at the school I was going to actually offered me, he said, when the soccer season's over, if you want to play basketball, we have a spot for you. And I was tempted, but I was like, if I split my time between soccer and basketball and then I don't end up signing that professional contract for soccer, I'm going to regret it because I'm going to be like, man, like if I had just dedicated all my time specifically to soccer, could I have made it? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to not play basketball in college. I'm just going to play soccer. And I just basically I committed my whole life to it. Every day my goal was just to become better, better, better. I ended up traveling to Germany, Thailand, and then ended up signing a contract for a team um, out in California. So it was a lot of fun. It was really, really great experience. But yeah, now we're on to the YouTube side of my life.
Hats off to you, man. It definitely wasn't easy. I'm sure there was a lot of things that went on behind the scenes, a lot of extra work you put in.
Oh, for
Yeah, man.
sure, bro. It's
Yeah.
it's it's just crazy the amount of work it takes, even just like you said, to sign. Even and from the basketball side, people look at like G League players and stuff. Like you have no idea how hard those guys work to get to. Listen, they're professional basketball players. I know they're not in the NBA, but like those guys. This is the way I looked at it. I was like, I want to prove that I'm good enough for someone to pay me to play this sport. And that was the way I looked at it. Like, my job is to play soccer, is what I wanted to happen. And I did that. So that was one of the kind of like big achievements that I would say I've done athletically.
Hell yeah, brother. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that, for real.
Yeah, man. Same to you.
Yep. All right. So now, us that follow you, on your channel, on Twitter, we know how much you love the Lakers. How old were you when you started watching basketball, specifically when you started watching the Lakers?
My dad, the reason, like, I feel like you pick up, like, from what your family does. So, like, my dad would always be watching, like, Lakers are on, he's watching a game. So, like, I'm a kid and I'm watching the games. Like, my dad's watching the game, I'm watching the game. And it's always a Laker game. And a lot of my childhood was Kobe. And Kobe and Shaq, and like, they're going to the final, they're winning championships, and I'm like this is amazing. You know what I mean? Every year you're getting to see your team compete, win titles, and it just ever since I was a kid, like I'm just always a Laker fan. I mean, there was a 10-year drought basically where I had to deal with like some of the worst basketball, like Smush Parker starting point guard. Like there was brutal years, but you know, listen, for me, it's like once you're a fan of like a franchise, like you stick with it. So it's like, people see that I'm a big LeBron fan, so they think like, oh, you just became a Laker fan. Like I've always been a Laker fan since I was a kid. After LeBron leaves, I'm still gonna be a Laker fan. It just so happened I got lucky enough that my favorite player went to my favorite team.
So, next question. Who's Joe Know's greatest basketball player of all time, and why is that?
Man, that's tough because I don't know. I feel like, well, at least on those weird NBA Twitter dudes, it's like whoever they feel is the greatest, they can't like they don't respect anyone else, and that's not the way I am. Like if
Mhm.
someone tells me they think this guy or that guy's the greatest, and they actually have reasoning to back them up, I'm like, all right, that's your opinion. I can respect that. But for me, I think LeBron is the greatest player ever. Like I know people, oh, he's lost in the finals and like to me, like that's a team thing. Like winning championships is team things. For an individual player, in my opinion, nobody impacts the game of basketball more than LeBron does. The dude he can score 50, he can get, 15 rebounds, 15 assists, he can control the tempo of the game better than anyone. I mean, maybe Magic, you can make the argument, but he controls the tempo of a game. You watch the playoff games now and guys that are making cases for league MVPs and all this stuff, it's like the game can just get away from them and they have no way to calm it down. LeBron, like, he played against the Warriors with Kyrie and Kevin Love hurt and literally controlled the tempo of the entire series, which is the only reason that they were even able to take it to 6 games. Like they had no business even being in that series, and he kept them in it just because of the way he controls the game. So, you can talk about championships and all that stuff all you want, but for me, it's like I'm looking at it from an individual player standpoint, what that one player can do. And in my opinion, the NBA is more skilled and more athletic and faster than it's ever been. And this guy, year in and year out, still stands out amongst the best. So,
Okay.
to me,
No, yeah, I understand.
he's the greatest. I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, people want to make the case for Jordan. I can respect it. Jordan he was different. Like dude was unbelievable, and he won 6 titles. Averaged 30 points a game for his career. Dude is absolutely amazing. I can respect that opinion. I'm not one of these people that it's like, oh, if you disagree with me, you're wrong. If you can make a legit case, then I can respect it. So.
Right. And see, I got some real close friends who are going to be really happy to hear your answer to that question. I'm not going to get too deep into my opinion on it because I know people don't care. Nah, but you see who I'm rocking with right now on your team. You know what I'm saying? You see him. Who is this right here?
Oh, you got the little Jordan face
Little
scan.
Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Got the elbow band, the leg sleeve. But no,
Yeah,
see,
there's so many arguments to be made. It's oh well he was undefeated in the finals, but it's like oh but so losing in the first round is better than losing in the final. You know what I mean? There's so many arguments people make. Like I'm not even talking team accomplishments. I'm just saying individual player. I'm taking the bigger, faster, stronger, more versatile player.
with 2K21 coming up, obviously we're gonna have a next gen console. Um, we got the new neighborhood. I know you talked about it a little bit on your second channel, what you saw in that trailer and what you saw regarding the My Player Builder and the new neighborhood. But are you excited or are you kind of just like, whatever about it? What's your take?
I mean, yeah, of course, of course, I'm excited. Like for something new, like anything new, because I think we can all agree, like we're done with 2K20. Like we've played it, everyone's abused it enough. There's so
Mhm.
many broken mechanics and stuff. At least when the new game comes out, people don't really know what's broken yet, so everyone just kind of plays. And
Right.
then they start to figure out, okay, oh, I can spam this move, I can do this. And then it starts to get annoying, but for the most part, I mean, what's beautiful, we're basically getting 2 brand new games because we'll get this game and then we'll get the next gen in a couple months. So we're basically getting 2 brand new 2Ks this year, which is even better. I'm excited for this one, but I'm definitely way more excited to see what they're able to do with the new consoles for sure.
Next gen sounds like it's going to be crazy according to the devs and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that for
Yeah,
sure.
hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully. Um, so let's talk a little bit about your second channel. So far you've done some reactions. Is there another lane you want to go with that channel, like maybe IRL 1v1s or some along those lines?
Yeah, I think if I do more RL 1v1s, like when I played Duke, like I posted on my main channel, I think I'm just gonna continue to post them over there because I don't really see I don't really see the reason to put them over on my second. I think on my main channel they'll do really well, and then maybe like I know Flight does this. It's literally genius. He'll play 1v1s and then he'll react to his own 1v1s.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting two videos for one. Like it's absolutely genius. So I'll probably react to them on my second channel, but I think I'll post them on my main channel. I'll keep my second channel, I think, basically for reactions and any other type of like I don't know me giving my opinion on something type of videos, and then my main channel will be like just for obviously 2K, but also just anything else like entertainment wise, basketball wise.
Some of us want to know. I'm sure a lot of the fans will want to know. You know, being that you're one of the bigger YouTubers in this community. You know, a lot of people look up to you. A lot of people watch your videos. They know who you are at very least. You know what I'm saying? For the people that really rock with you, your real fans, um, who's Joe's role model?
That's a good question. I mean, I look up to LeBron obviously not only because he's a great basketball player, but he does so much off the court that tries to make just the world a better place that I think is something that we should all be trying to do more of. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, most of my role models, I mean, besides like, I think my parents were great role models for me. I think I'm fortunate to have that, but I think also me growing up playing sports my entire life, a lot of the people that I looked up to or still do look up to were athletes. I mean Kobe was one. I could list a bunch honestly. There's I was fortunate that in the sports world there was people that set good examples in terms of not only if you want to be great in a sport, but just if you want to be great in life, to just, you know, be committed, be dedicated to things, put your all into it. I think Kobe was a really good example. Um, just about the mental approach you should have to things when you're trying to accomplish it. So
Right.
yeah, I would
Okay.
say definitely mine was on the sports side, but then also I was fortunate that my parents were really good role models as well.
That's awesome, man. So, Joe, is there anything, as we getting ready to end the interview here, is there anything you want to say to your fans, and the support you've gotten from them thus far in your career?
I actually just tweeted it the other day. I'm just so grateful. Like it's crazy to think, people just, come to my channel and they think it's always been like this. I mean, like I said earlier, I had my days where it just was not going the way I wanted it to, and I thought about, I think I was at like 20 something thousand subs. I was literally about to give up and just be like, you know what, maybe just YouTube's not my thing. I'm gonna go try something else. And for whatever reason, I kept going, and ever since then, I never looked back. The support has been unbelievable, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing my best to try to keep everybody entertained, and you know, hopefully 2K21's my year, hit 1 million subscribers, and just keep it rolling, basically.
Absolutely. That's a great goal to have, man. You're not far. And actually, what would that mean to you? Hitting 1 million subscribers. That's a big milestone right there. Not a lot of people can say they've done
Yeah,
that in any community, really. Not just 2K, but any community. I mean, 1 million subscribers, that's seven digits, man. It's a big deal.
I I'm not really one of the people that ever gets like too high or too low. I always try to stay kind of in the middle. Do something really good, cool, but you got to keep going, or it doesn't go your way. All right, I'm not dead and buried. Let's just keep pushing, try to make it better. But 1 million, I like that's something. All the other one, 100,000, 200,000, they were great, but I still feel like, damn, there's so much more I could do, so much more I could do. And even when I hit 1 million, I know like that's not the end. Like that's not okay. I hit 1 million, I'm done. I can retire forever. But that's just like a crazy milestone,
Right.
and I think I can get there this year. So that's gonna be something. That's gonna be one where I just sit down for a second. I'm just like, wow, like that's a journey, and we got here. But then it's gonna be for me. It's gonna be boom boom. We're right back to work now. We're 2 millions on the way,
Yeah,
and
hell
we're
yeah.
gonna keep going.
That's awesome, man. And you know what? You are actually one of the most popular YouTubers, numbers wise, right now in the community. I'm not gonna get too into it, but like to the point where people actually accuse you of view botting, and that's that's a testament to you, really, because you grind for your stuff, you put in the work, and you know you deserve it, man. You deserve it entirely.
Yeah.
And congratulations. I'm lucky to have came in contact and kind of build a little relationship with you, and I look forward to keep building in the future. And yeah, man. That's pretty much all I got for the interview. That's going to wrap up our first ever interview of 2K Tapes behind the scenes. I want to thank Joe for joining me. I appreciate your time, Joe. Keep doing great things. You're on a great path. And yeah, man. Anything you want to say?
Oh, man, appreciate you, asking me to do this. Hopefully, this helps, you start to build your channel even more than you have already, and hopefully you get some more creators on here in the near future to kind of see what they think about things and where they came from and all that stuff. So appreciate it, bro.
No, that'd be great, and that's ultimately the goal. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has a story, and like I mentioned to you off the camera, it can be a little, I guess, awkward if you want to talk about yourself if it's not in the right setting. Especially if you're a humble guy such as yourself, like you don't really care to, or it's nobody's business, so to speak. But people want to know. The fans want to know. I feel like there's a lane that's unoccupied, and yeah, hopefully in the future we can get some more content creators in the 2K community. But yeah, thanks again, Joe. That's gonna wrap up our interview, and talk soon, brother.
All right, y'all, that's it for episode 1 of 2K Tapes. I'm gonna need you to @ your favorite YouTubers on Twitter, and let's get them on the show, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. My name's Never Ready, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.